refinishing this old dresser. I think it's got an old like paper tag on it. Original manufacturer seems to be Muncie, Indiana. I'm not sure how old it is, but it's kind of got a neat look. It's a taller dresser. My little girl needs a new dresser for her room. She's got a real long one. The drawers aren't working quite right. This is older. Seems to be a little bit more reliable. Built a little sturdier, I guess. So we're gonna see what we can do with it. The veneer, it's built with a hardwood veneer that's gone bad in some places, as they do over time. So we're gonna try to take all the veneer off of it, sand it down, and see what kind of surface we're working with. I mean, we got a couple options. We could put some new veneer on. Depending on how it looks, I'd like to just resurface and do some kind of stain, maybe a sealer, give it a nice, natural, pretty natural look. I got some roosters outside being a little noisy right now. But yeah, I want to see how it turns out. I'm hoping we can just sand it down, make it look nice, maybe plane it off, do a nice wood stain for a natural look. I think it'll go well in our room. And actually picked this up for free. My wife found it on Facebook. Somebody was moving out, moving in with a new boyfriend or husband or something, needed to get rid of it. Offered it for free. Obviously it's got caster wheels on the bottom. One of the caster wheels is actually broken off, the leg is split open. So I'm not sure if I want to put new casters on yet, or if I want to look more toward, I'm going to glue that leg back together and make it nice. But I'm not sure if we want to put the wheels on it or if we just want to make it sit flat. I mean, it's going to be in the girls' room, so there's going to be two young little girls in there. I don't want to really have them try to move it around, so we'll make a decision on that when we get to it, I guess. But for now, we're going to try to knock out removing some of this old veneer off of it and see what we got hiding underneath. Now, when I was looking this up online, the best ways to do this, I found several different options for how you can actually remove this old veneer. Obviously, one is chiseling it off, using a chisel to peel it off. If the adhesive isn't holding as strong anymore, you can just peel it off like this. Another option is to actually heat it up and get it wet. I guess you can do either or both. And you can actually put a towel over the entire veneer surface and keep that towel wet and just let it soak for a few days. And since the adhesive is water-based, it'll kind of dissolve that out, and it's supposed to come right off after that. Other ways are an iron with a steam setting. Put a towel down again over the veneer and use your iron with the steam setting through the towel to heat it up and get it wet, and that's supposed to release the adhesive. But this is, some of it was loose. The edges back here were kind of loose already, so I was just decided to use the chisel to try to peel most of it off. Which seems to be going pretty well. Now if there's any I don't get with the chisel and peeling off like this, I think I should be able to come back chisel flipped over and just kind of get under it. Maybe get a hammer. The big thing here, it's good to keep your chisel upside down to do the peeling, because you run less risk of gouging your surface up under the veneer. And of course, you don't want to gouge the surface up if we're going to try to refinish it. I guess if you're just going to put a new hardwood veneer over it, it might not be quite as big of a deal, I guess. But I'm really hoping, even though I know it's going to be some cheap wood under here, it's the whole point of the veneer is to use inexpensive lumber to build the furniture, and then some nice high quality hardwood veneer to cover over it to make it look nice and make it look like it's all made out of good expensive lumber. But I'm hoping, even though we're gonna have cheap lumber under here, that it's gonna look decent enough that we can sand it down and stain it and make it look really nice. But I mean, I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we're working with when we get it all off. So I've got most all the veneer off of the top. A couple minor imperfections here and there, but we'll try to plane this down, smooth those out, take care of that before we sand it. And I actually started looking at the front of the drawers here, and whatever they've got on the front seems to be really thin, so I might be able to just plane that off or sand it off. We'll see what we've got with that. But I think before we stop for the day, we'll take this hardware off. Maybe pull the drawers out, take the hardware off.
So I haven't decided yet what kind of hardware we're going to put on here. But I know we're going to change the hardware out. My wife doesn't like these handles, so we'll have to shop around a little bit, see what we can find. Maybe like a newer style brushed brass. But I think we need to figure out what kind of finish we're going to do first. Try to figure out what kind of hardware is going to look best with the finish. But these handles look, they look pretty dated. They look kind of cheap and old. So we're going to upgrade that. I don't know, maybe like a polished nickel might look good. Again, yeah, it depends on the finish, but I kind of like the look of the newer, the polished nickel, kind of silvery look. I think that might look nice. Now, I probably should have looked. I was at the store today picking up a little bit of lumber. Got another project coming up. We'll start on here real soon. Gonna build at least one, maybe two bigger chicken tractors so I can run the chickens out in the pasture. I was in the store. I should have looked today at the hardware to see what they had, but I didn't even think about it.
Well, I think that's it for today's video. Got the top cleaned off. We'll have to do some sanding on it. Try to get it ready for whatever finish is going to go on it. Got all the hardware off. We'll have to figure out what kind of hardware we're going to get. And pulled all the drawers out, and we'll start cleaning the face of them off. I don't know, I might try to plane them just to get this thin layer off, sand them down and prep them, and then we'll do that, start on that the next video, and then we'll start cleaning up the rest of these little bits and the sides. At some point we will probably then we'll also go ahead and try to fix that foot or that caster wheel where the leg split out, glue that back together, and figure out what we're going to do with the bottom. I think we're just going to take the casters off and put some like felt pads or something on the bottom. Just have it stationary. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. You can see more videos like this, as well as other videos. Just different work around the homestead. Like I said, we got a chicken tractor project coming up. We're going to put some meat birds out on pasture. So be sure to catch that. Catch the next video. We'll do some more work on this and see how it turns out.